Imagine flying from New York to London in under 3 hours, faster than a bullet, higher than the curvature of the Earth. Today, we aren't just looking at jets, we're looking at time machines. Well, hello there, folks. Welcome back to Luxury Aloft. If you've been following this channel, you know we love talking about the finest machines ever built for private aviation. Today, we're taking it up a notch, way up. We're counting down the top 10 fastest private jets of all time. And our number one pick? It's controversial, it's legendary, and technically, it shouldn't even be on this list, but you know exactly why it is. From breaking the sound barrier to setting world speed records, these jets represent the absolute pinnacle of aviation engineering. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's get started. Coming in at number 10, we have a tie between two magnificent French machines, the Dassault Falcon 8X and its predecessor, the Falcon 7X. Both of these beauties top out at Mach 0.90. That's about 690 miles per hour. Now, what makes these jets special? Well, back in 2007, the Falcon 7X became the world's first fully fly-by-wire business jet. That's computer-controlled flight systems, folks, the same technology you'd find in modern fighter jets. And here's a remarkable story. In 2014, a Falcon 7X flew from New York to London in just 5 hours and 54 minutes. Normally, that trip takes over 8 hours. The 8X came along in 2016 with a cabin that's 3.5 feet longer. It seats up to 16 passengers in absolute luxury. Formula One champion Max Verstappen reportedly upgraded from his old jet to a Falcon 8X, and when a guy who drives cars at 200 miles per hour chooses your aircraft, you know you've built something special. At number 9, we've got another pair of speed demons from America's premier jet manufacturer, the Gulfstream G500 and G600. These jets can reach Mach 0.90 just like the Falcons we just talked about, but they bring something extra to the table. Gulfstream unveiled both of these aircraft back in October 2014, and by 2017, they were so popular they made up 80% of the company's sales. That tells you something about how well Gulfstream designed these birds. The G500 and G600 feature Rolls-Royce engines and what Gulfstream calls their Symmetry Flight Deck, one of the most advanced cockpit systems in business aviation. The cabin windows are among the largest in the industry, giving passengers spectacular views as they cruise at 51,000 feet. These jets aren't just fast, they're efficient. For business executives who need to cross continents regularly, these offer the perfect combination of speed, range, and comfort.
Number 8 brings us to Canada's contribution to high-speed aviation, the Bombardier Global 5500 and 6500. These magnificent jets share the same maximum speed of Mach 0.90, but they cruise even faster than the Dassauts at Mach 0.88. Both jets are powered by those beautiful Pearl 15 Rolls-Royce engines. And let me tell you, these engines are absolute marvels of engineering. The main difference between the 5500 and 6500 is size and range, but both aircraft feature Bombardier's innovative cabin design with something they call the nuage seat, French for cloud. These are some of the most comfortable seats you'll find in any business jet. What really sets these Bombardiers apart is their ability to access smaller airports thanks to their excellent short runway performance. That means you can fly fast and land closer to your final destination, saving even more time. Moving up to number 7, we have the Bombardier Global 7500, which started deliveries back in 2018 and remains one of the quickest private jets on Earth. This aircraft reaches Mach 0.925. That's about 710 miles per hour. But here's what's truly impressive. This jet can fly non-stop for up to 7,700 nautical miles. That means you could fly from New York to Hong Kong without stopping for fuel. Just think about that for a moment. Breakfast in Manhattan, dinner in Asia, all on one tank of gas. Bombardier has set an astonishing 135 city-pair speed records with this aircraft. Routes like Tokyo to San Francisco, London to Riyadh, and Montreal to Paris, the Global 7500 is the fastest on all of them. That's more records than any other single business jet in history. At number 6, we've reached legendary territory with the Gulfstream G650 and G650ER. These jets have been the choice of tech billionaires and world leaders for years. Get this, between these two models, they've set more than 125 world speed records. That includes a record for the fastest circumnavigation of the Earth around the North and South Poles. Who flies these jets? Well, according to flight tracking services, while Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos have held on to their G650s for years, Elon Musk has reportedly moved on to something even faster. But does speed really matter when you own the skies? That's the question billionaires ask themselves. Now, here's some news. Gulfstream announced in February 2025 that they've completed assembly of the last G650. No more will be built. They're being replaced by the even more advanced G800. So if you've got one of these, you've got a piece of aviation history.
Speaking of the G800, that brings us to number 5. This is Gulfstream's longest-range business jet. When you need to go fast, it can reach Mach 0.925, about 710 miles per hour. The G800 is powered by next-generation Rolls-Royce Pearl 700 engines. These beauties provide incredible thrust while being remarkably fuel-efficient. Gulfstream calls this high-speed efficiency, and it means you get to your destination faster while using less fuel. The cabin is absolutely stunning. It's typically laid out for up to 13 passengers across 4 zones, with a dedicated private stateroom in the rear, complete with a lie-flat bed. For business leaders who operate on a global scale, the G800 is the ultimate time machine. Number 4 is where things get really exciting. The Gulfstream G700 made its maiden flight in February 2020, and during testing, researchers actually pushed this aircraft to Mach 0.99, just a whisper away from the speed of sound. This jet has set over 50 speed records of its own. A Paris to Los Angeles flight that normally takes nearly 12 hours, the G700 can do it in about 8.5 hours. That's saving almost half a day of your life on a single flight. The G700 features the largest cabin in its class. We're talking about 5 separate living areas if you want them. Some of the wealthiest individuals in the world have already placed orders. It maintains speed efficiently. Faster flying means fewer flight hours, which means longer periods between scheduled maintenance. That's engineering excellence right there. Bronze medal position goes to an aircraft that for many years held the title of the world's fastest business jet, the Cessna Citation X+. This super mid-sized jet can reach speeds of up to Mach 0.935. That's 617 miles per hour, folks. Now, Cessna first introduced the Citation X back in 1996, and it was revolutionary. The first customer? None other than Gulf legend Arnold Palmer. Within a year of taking delivery, Palmer's Citation X was setting speed records all over the place. Here's a real-world example of its speed. Los Angeles to New York in around 4 hours. A typical private jet takes 5 hours or more for the same trip. That extra hour can mean making that meeting or catching your daughter's piano recital. Now, before we reveal our top 2, let me remind you, our number 1 pick is controversial. It's legendary, and technically, it shouldn't even be on this list, but you know exactly why it is. Stay tuned. Here we are at number 2, and this is the current champion of speed in business aviation, the Bombardier Global 8000. This magnificent machine can reach Mach 0.94. Let me repeat that, Mach 0.94. That is 721 miles per hour. During testing, the Global 8000 actually broke the sound barrier, reaching Mach 1.015. Even more impressive, it became the first aircraft to go supersonic using sustainable aviation fuel. If you're looking to purchase the fastest private jet you can buy today, the Global 8000 is your answer. It's priced around $78 million, and yes, there is a waiting list.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached number 1, the undisputed king of speed in passenger aviation history, the Concorde. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Wait a minute, the Concorde wasn't a private jet. And you're right, technically, but hear me out, because the Concorde did fly private charters for wealthy individuals, celebrities, and royalty. The Concorde could cruise at Mach 2.04, that's 1,354 miles per hour, or more than twice the speed of sound. To put that in perspective, the fastest private jet we just talked about does 721 miles per hour. The Concorde was almost twice as fast. Here are some mind-blowing facts. The Concorde could fly from New York to London in under 3 hours. It cruised at 60,000 feet. That's twice as high as regular airliners. Passengers could actually see the curvature of the Earth and witness double sunsets. The plane would fly west faster than the sun could set. Ticket prices were astronomical. Who flew on Concorde charters? Queen Elizabeth II, Paul McCartney, Phil Collins, and countless business leaders who valued time above all else. Sadly, the era of commercial supersonic flight came to an end in 2003. But here's the thing. No aircraft since has matched the Concorde's combination of speed, prestige, and performance. It proved that we could build aircraft that traveled faster than the speed of sound while carrying passengers in luxury. Now, flying at these mind-bending speeds brings up an important question. What is the price of speed? And I don't just mean the price of the jet. When a Gulfstream G600 or a Global 7500 pushes past Mach 0.90, the fuel burn increases dramatically. We are talking about burning through 400 to 500 gallons of jet fuel every single hour. At current prices, that means just the fuel for a flight from New York to London could cost over $15,000. And that's just for subsonic jets. The Concorde? It was thirsty. It burned over 6,700 gallons of fuel just to cross the Atlantic. That is nearly 25,000 liters. The afterburners alone, used for takeoff and pushing through the sound barrier, consumed fuel at a rate that would drain an average swimming pool in minutes. Speed also increases maintenance costs. Flying faster puts more stress on the airframe and the engines. This is why the cost per hour to operate these demons can range from $8,000 to $15,000. So, when a billionaire saves 2 hours on a flight, they are essentially paying about $10,000 for every hour saved. But for them, time is the only thing money can't usually buy. So, it's a bargain. Well, folks, there you have it, the top 10 fastest private jets of all time. What strikes me most about this list is how these machines aren't just about speed, they're about maximizing the most precious commodity we have, time. For business leaders closing international deals, for families wanting more time together, these jets are true time machines. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these jets impressed you the most? Would you trade a little comfort for extra speed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I love hearing your stories. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thank you so much for watching, folks. Until next time, this is Luxury Aloft, reminding you to keep looking up and dreaming big. Safe travels, everyone.